Hello viewers, hope you all are keeping well. Now let us start with the topic quadratic equations of our 10th class. This is your chapter number 5 given in your book. I will take up 4 important points before we actually start solving the questions related to quadratic equations. These points are very important to understand the basic concepts related to quadratic equations, some terms, some formulae with which it will be very easy for all of you to solve the answers. First is important is the meaning of the quadratic equations. First of all, equation. I have already told this portion is equal to this portion. Let us say I have written one example for you. This part is equal to this part, this equal to, whenever one expression is equal to the another expression, it gives us an equation. This is an equation. Secondly, why do we call it a quadratic equation? This is a quadratic equation. Why? Because let us check the variables here. What is variable here? Variable here is x and this x. This is without any variable. I may, for your convenience only, I may write it like x raised to power 0, because all of you know that x raised to power 0 is equal to 1. It will not make any difference to our this term. It will remain 7 only. It will remain a constant term only. But just for making you understand this concept, I have written here x raised to power 0. What is the power of x here? This is with power 1 and this is with power 2. Now we have got 3x here. All have got power 2, 1, 0. Now out of all these powers, which one is the highest power? The highest power is this 2. It means this is an equation in which the highest power of the variable is 2. And what is the name for that highest power? It is called degree. Degree. So the degree of this equation is 2. Therefore, this is called a quadratic equation. So simple definition of quadratic equation is an equation in one variable in which the highest power of the variable is 2 is known as a quadratic equation. This was our definition part. Now let us come to its standard form. This is the second point about our quadratic equations. Definition was the first point. When we talk about the standard form, now I may write so many different types of quadratic equations. You may have hundreds of examples, and by this time it is clear to you, I think, that a quadratic equation should have 3 terms. One with power 2 of the variable, one with power 1 of the variable, and one with power 0 of the variable, means a constant term. So I can write this as ax square, first term with power 2, plus bx, second term with power 1, plus c. C means constant. So I may write x raised to power 0, but I am not writing. It is understood without that also. So we have got 3 terms with different powers of the variable, and here we have got plus plus between those 3 terms. This is called the standard form of the equation. Now what are these a, b, c? Just compare with the example I wrote in the starting. What are these a, b, c? 3x square, ax square. Here a is this 3. So a is 3. What is b? Bx. Bx is here is 5x. So b is 5. And what is c? C was the 7 here, constant term without any variable. So it means a, b, c are the any 3 real numbers. Actually we call them the coefficients. Whatever is attached in front of the variable is called a coefficient. So a, b, c are the coefficients here, and these should be what kind of coefficients? These can be any numbers between 1, 2, 3, 4, any numbers, positive numbers, negative numbers, all kinds of numbers, integers, okay, all kinds of numbers are possible in place of ABC. So we may call that these can be real numbers. But one very important point here I want to discuss. That important point is about that I just said that A, B, C, these three coefficients can be any real numbers. It can be 5 here, it can be -2 here, it can be 7 here, any number is possible because the real numbers means any number. So, I want to discuss mainly about one real number, that is 0. That can any real number, out of all those real numbers, can 0, 2 can come at any place on these ABC or not. Let us say, first of all, I take up the first term, I take up ax square, and if I say a is equal to 0, this will be our first case. Second is I put b equal to 0, and the third is when I put c equal to 0. Three different cases, three different positions for our 0, for our real number 0 I am going to discuss. So let us see how it makes difference to our standard form of the quadratic equation. If a is equal to 0, a equal to 0 means 0 multiplied by x square means whole of the term will go 0. So it becomes 0 plus bx plus c equal to 0. Finally, what is this equation? This 0 goes, it is 0 only. So we will write bx plus c. Now you tell me whether this equation, the final form, is it still a quadratic equation? When a was equal to 0, is it still a quadratic equation? The definition of the quadratic equation was the highest degree or the highest power of the variable should be 2. But my dear students, here that term has totally gone and we are left only with the highest power of the variable as 1 only. So it is no longer a quadratic equation. It has changed, transformed into a linear equation only. So a equal to 0, in place of a, 0 is not allowed at all. This is the one exception. When we say ABC, all can be real numbers. So one thing we say, here only we will add that a, b, c can be real numbers except one condition, that a should not be equal to 0. Most important part of the definition of the standard form of a quadratic equation. This part we cannot afford this part to be 0. If this has gone to be 0, whole of the term will go 0 and we will be left only with a linear equation, not a quadratic equation. Second thing is when b equal to 0. When b is equal to 0, then what will be the form of equation? Ax square, a can be anything, plus bx. Plus bx means b equal to 0. I put 0 here. In place of this b I put 0, means whole of the term will go 0. So plus c, as it is constant term, equal to 0. Let us check whether still this is a quadratic or not. So it has become ax square plus c equal to 0. Let us verify the condition for being a quadratic equation. Still we have got this power 2 of the variable. This is the highest power. So very well, it is still a quadratic equation. Means 0 is allowed when we check the place for b. So 0 is allowed there. It is not allowed in first place, it is allowed in the second place. Means we can have a quadratic equation where the second term is missing, where the term with the single power of the variable is missing, that is also allowed. This is the important thing. Now the c part, c is equal to 0. C was our constant. Is it possible that we can have a quadratic equation in which the constant term is 0? Let us check. Ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 means it will be like this only. So our equation will be ax square plus bx equal to 0. Check whether this is a quadratic or not. It is a quadratic because of this term. So very much this is a quadratic. It means c equal to 0 is also allowed. Okay, and such we have got. It means what will be the form of the equation in which c is equal to 0 means it will be like this. I am writing again, ax square plus bx only equal to 0, and such a special type of equations in which one term is with power 2 and another term is with power 1, such are called adfacted quadratic equation. Adfacted word in English also, in maths also, it means, in maths especially I will tell you the meaning. Adfacted means an equation in which there are different powers of the variable, terms with different powers. Like here we have got power 2 of the variable, here we have got power 1. Such equation is called adfacted quadratic equation. And I would tell you one more point here. Here we have got ax square plus c. What was this case in which b is equal to 0? This was a case in which b equal to 0, means it will be like this: ax square plus c equal to 0. So let me take one example. I can write it as x square plus 4 equal to 0, or I can write it as x square minus 9 equal to 0. For example only. So such are called pure quadratic equations. Pure quadratic equations means we have got one constant term and one term which exactly shows it is a quadratic. Such are called pure quadratic equations. So these were about the standard form and the different cases for our coefficients. Now the next important point about the quadratic equations, I told I will take up 4 points, and out of those, third important point is about discriminant. Discriminant, see this word discriminant, discriminant. Discriminant is the name of an expression only. It is not, it is an expression only. So I will denote it by capital D. Discriminant in our quadratic equations is denoted by capital D. Capital D says the formula for capital D or the discriminant is, most important formula, please check carefully, b square minus 4ac. Discriminant, formula for discriminant is d is equal to b square minus 4ac. This is the formula when our quadratic equation is in like this: ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. If this is the quadratic equation, then for that the value of d will be b square minus 4ac. What is b? What are b, a, c here? b is this value, a is this value, and c is this value. So very clearly please remember this formula. Value of discriminant is b square minus 4ac. I will take up one example to show how to calculate the value of the discriminant for any question. Let me take up one example here. 3x square minus 6x plus 7 equal to 0. This is a quadratic equation. Now you may see here that till now everywhere I was taking a plus and plus sign here. Remember students, these two signs are most important for the calculation purpose in the questions of quadratic equations. If you properly deal these two signs, see properly, you will get full marks. If you ignore single time, if you ignore these formula or write them wrongly or put them wrongly, then it is sure that you will not get full marks in that question. Now I will tell you how here it is minus and plus. I have taken this example only. Let me compare it with the standard forms. In the standard forms we always write plus like this. When I said a, b, c, in the definition I said a, b, c are the real numbers. 3 is a real number, minus 6 is a real number, 7 is a real number. First of all, it is fulfilling the definition. It means that we can have anywhere plus minus sign. It is allowed. Now it is up to you to see them very clearly. At the time of calculation of d, we will write b square minus 4ac. Before that, we should know what is a, b, c. Compare like this. First term with first term, second term with second term, and third term with the third term. First term is ax square, here it is 3x square. X square is same. Instead of a, what we have got is only 3, and it is very well of plus sign. Second is plus bx, here we have got minus 6x, x and x are same. So in place of b, I have got minus 6. Third, it was plus c here, and here we have got plus 7. So instead of the constant term, I have got a plus only. Plus matches, nothing to worry. Without sign we will write. But if it is plus and minus, very surely you are supposed to take up this minus also in the value. Here we have to simply put the value b square minus 6 square minus 4 into a. A means 3 here and C is equal to 7. So I have put the values of B, A and C here. Now solving. D is equal to square of minus 6 is 36. See that square of minus is always positive. Don't do a mistake here. Remember this. And 4 3s are, multiply this, 4 3s are 12, 7s are 84. So after solving we will have a subtracting, because the bigger number is of minus, so answer will have minus, and subtracting we will get here a 48. Now this is the value of the expression D for the quadratic equation 3x square minus 6x plus 7. In the next video I will take up that if D can have any type of value, D can be 0 also, D can be a negative number also, and D can be positive also. What are the meanings and what are the different further things related to D, that I will take up in next video. Now the fourth important point for this is about the meaning of the word roots. Roots. Whenever we solve any quadratic equation, let us say ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, whenever we solve, remember, because the highest power is 2, at the time of solving we will get the, definitely we will get the two values for this variable. Let us say we may get x equal to minus 2 and 5, we may get 0 and 2, anything. So like this, after solving a quadratic, the two values of the unknown are called the roots of that quadratic. We call them roots also, we call them zeros also. These are the some terms related to solution part that I will take up separately in a detail. I have given the meaning only of the roots. These are the roots, are the simply the values of the unknown after solving the quadratic equation. So students, hope you have understood all these new terms related to quadratic equations. Now finally, if you have not understood anything, please share and ask. Now final word for this video, please like, share and subscribe, and please do press the bell icon, and please keep following the next videos also, in which I will take up a different concepts related to quadratic equations. We will solve a lot of quadratic equations, and we will see different formulae by which it can be solved. Students, this is very important and very easy topic related to as far as maths exam is concerned of 10th class. So please do follow my next videos. Thank you very much for watching. Please remain inside and keep doing maths. Thank you.